Akata Witch. Visionary, fantasy, adventure, excitement. It is the story of 4 friends and written through the eyes of Sunny, who's a 12-year-old who lives in Nigeria. She discovers something amazing. She is a free agent with special powers.
This book is about a young person who thinks she's just a normal person. This book is about a young person who starts off not maybe knowing the incredible, amazing, endless power that she has in her mind and in her hands. And as a parent, I know young people like that. As a mayor, I know young people like that. Magic is what we need when human possibilities seem limited. Has anybody felt in the last week or month or year that human possibilities seem limited? Magic is how we unleash ourselves from the notions of limitations that keep us stuck as a person, stuck as a family, stuck as a neighborhood, stuck as a city, stuck as a country. Magic is how we break the chains of the limits that we put on ourselves. You know what I mean? So we're not talking about Harry Potter stuff. This is deeper than that. And so
I'm an irrational optimist, so I'm always, no matter what is happening, I'm always looking in the positive direction. I don't fall into despair, no matter what is happening.
Come on now.
I always will imagine. I can imagine, and before action comes imagination. You know, you have to be able to imagine that something can change. So, like, I'm able to imagine positively. I think that's a superpower. This book, I mean, it's the culmination of a lot of things. I'm Nigerian American. I was born and raised in this country. Both of my parents are Nigerian, and they've been taking me and my siblings back to Nigeria since we were very little. And so I started writing when I was 20. And in my head, I started writing Akata Witch long before that. All of those trips to Nigeria were, first of all, they were epic, they were pivotal, were foundational as well. So all of that, I was just taking so much in during those trips. Like, I'm just naturally the kind of person who, when I go somewhere new, I'm just drawing it in. I just kind of inhale it. And then also, you know, going to Nigeria, you're meeting your relatives, your family, for the first time and the millionth time. So there's the experience of that, interacting with the culture, interacting with how you're treated as an American Nigerian, and having that conversation. And my sisters and I, we were very interactive with it. We were very clear in who we are, and the confusion around that, and the melding and the cultural conflicts and all of that. We were very secure with that. So when we go and they would say, you can't speak Igbo, and we'd be like, okay, I can't? No, I mean, how would I be able to speak Igbo since I wasn't born and raised there? We had that conversation. You know, you have Sunny, who's Nigerian American, then you have Orlu and Chi-Chi, who are Nigerian, and they're from different economic backgrounds. And then you have Sasha, who is African American, you know, and he's coming in with his own experience, and he's very bold. I love the way he moves. He goes to Nigeria, and he just blends in. He learns the languages. He's like, what? I can learn this. I can learn that. He's very smart. So we've got that. You've got Caribbean culture represented in there. It's like right at the end. You have the Zuma festival that brings all the Africans together. Like, it's all. So it's all over. The book is a book about the Black diaspora that brings all of them, everybody together, and they're all in Africa. That was very intentional. Like, the story takes place there.
She said, my science fiction was different because my science fiction had to be different because my ancestors were.
Okay.
I had to put that as a quote on bars. I had to put it as a quote, like, whoa, that just hit me hard. And then the other thing was that other people said this. Someone I've seen randomly said that she gave you just enough imagination so that you could also fill it in with yours.
It's a powerful book for any reader, and just the more you know of yourself, the more the book opens up to you. and that it meets you anywhere where you're at on the journey. Sunny's name was Nnedi. And one of my favorite authors, Octavia Butler, one of the characters in her book is a shape-shifting wisdom woman named Nnedi. And just won that homage, but also names and words, and that being ancestral currency that spanned Nigerian and also an American ancestor. And so that shows us how connected we are, even as lambs continue to try to oppress and suppress us.
I got no experience from Harry Potter. Like, when you're in Akata Witch, when you're reading the book, every time it like sucks you into this loophole and you're basically in Leopard Knox or the Obi Library, and it's really beautiful.
I am just so grateful to Nnedi Okorafor for writing this book and putting so much history and real tradition and culture and magic and just so much fun also in a story that can inspire so many people, and it's really exciting. So at the George Latimer Central Library in downtown St. Paul, now this is the gorgeous historic marble-walled chandeliered library in downtown. We created an experience on all 4 floors that we're bringing the book of Akata Witch to life. So we tried to bring together so many different groups of organizations and people and represent different types of Blackness. Melvin Carter, having the St. Paul Public Libraries, having Oshun Center, Family Tree, so many different, visual artists, healers, like everything in the room was really special. Our event was called The African Art of Healing, Past, Present, and Future. And when you walk into the first floor, it was like entering an African futurist or ancestral marketplace. So, as some people have said, the juju was strong. Like, there was posters of incivity all over, and we started with libations and a song, and people were just really alive. And one thing I remember people saying was like, the kids were just happy, and like, everyone was having an amazing time and felt so just spiritually and culturally nourished the whole time, and that it was just, we really opened up a portal. We were not in that library anymore. We were at Leopard Knox. And if you were there, you felt the magic of this book, and you felt the whole team putting together something very, very special. And we hope to recreate that experience in more places to come.
I started this thing, I was like, let's do a Mayor's Book Club. And our librarians are like, oh, we can do so much more than that. The Oshun Center for Intercultural Healing, thank you so much. Like, this is so exciting. As soon as the mayor shuts up, we're gonna get a chance to see how the place that used the artist formerly known as the Latimer Central Library has been transformed into Leopard Knox.
How often are we paying attention to the things that are falling apart?
That's right.
Or paying attention and investing and pouring our hearts and our souls into what we are building that will still remain after this fall, right? So I feel this is very important that we are learning these traditions which connect across every person in this room has an ancestor who wrote symbols, who did some kind of body work, who did some kind of costume masquerade, who went to the earth for their healing. And these are the things that keep us healthy, not only healthy, but strong and joyful and loving.
So we're gonna pour libations for this wonderful occasion. I don't need my, yep. Because, and just so that you understand that this is a very natural and very old technology. We are using water, the absorbent properties of water and the receptive properties of the earth, to put our words and our intentions and our wishes for who we want to join us today as we go through this very important remembering of the importance of leopard people. And so we'll begin, right? So we give honor and praise to the land that we stand on and all of the ancestors that brought healing and love and wisdom. We give thanks and praise and honor for all of the ancestors of all of the people who will touch this space today who did the same. We give honor and praise to all of the leopard people represented in all of the lineages of all of the people who are here today, no matter what you called yourself in those times. And we activate and ask for all of the wisdom that we can stand in the moment to fall upon us, sounding like Chittum if we need it. If we need it, and if others need it, so that we can go out and we know ourselves and we feel good in this skin and we know better than we did yesterday. We give honor and praise to all of the deities that are brought into this space by the various belief systems that anybody has. We give honor and praise for the wisdom and the elevation of all of the lineages that are here today, because we are here doing exactly that all together. And we give honor and praise to the library for giving us the space. We ask that all of the powers that be will fulfill the needs of the library and make it to be a fertile ground for all of the things that the library needs to do for the community that is here and in the community that is to come. Ashe, 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 oh.
Start your journey through this ancestral marketplace by painting your own spirit face. Choose colors and symbols that speak to you. Look out for people working points on their ears. Acupressure started in ancient Asia, Egypt, and West Africa. Stop by the altar and the oracle cards to greet your own ancestors. What do you think they might say to you?
I loved walking in and seeing how the library had been transformed, and it was incredible to get to be in the room and hear and feel and experience the message from Mayor Carter at the beginning of the event to the community that had gathered. One of my favorite moments of the book was when Sunny danced across the bridge. She called up the music of her heart, and she connected with this strong, powerful, magical part of her that had always been there that she didn't know.
Saw that rotunda, and I looked at it, and I started doing the math behind it. I was like, oh, I can weave that. That's going to be important. So that was the vibe, for sure.
We wove a giant portal raining down Chittum. In the book, Chittum are metal coins that fall from the sky when you learn something new. This was inspired by real-world manillas, the metal jewelry used as currency through the slave trade. We love how this book flips that history to celebrate leopard people who see knowledge as, quote, the center of all things. So we gave out bracelets to represent a Chittum reward for sharing one thing that you learned at the event.
I think one thing that is unspoken about the cosmogram and about that's in the book is how the Chittum that falls, the most valuable one is copper, and how it's back. Basically, the value is backwards, right? So in land world, material is very important. In leopard world, it is not. In
land world, gold is the best.
Humans, leopards are the magical.
In the leopard world, it is not. And how the cosmogram also is a mirror, like the cosmos and the physical world, the ethereal world is, the physical world is, they're mirrors of each other, but it's literally backwards.
As above, so below.
It's literally backwards. The things that we think are good, are the opposite. Yeah.
So this leads me to a random tangent, which is a superpower. And another quick random tangent before I move on this. Think about our music, like seriously, Make It Rain.
Yeah.
That is not an original idea.
Now let's elevate and go a bit deeper into the island. Look for insibity symbols from ancient Nigeria. These are similar to ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics and connected to symbols in Cuba and Haiti. Welcome to the floor of ancestors and masquerades.
I was in the masquerade room. So we're inviting people to come dance with their ancestors and with spirits in this circle. And one, I was surprised that Minnesotans actually did it. In the first, and like adults came in and were like, sure, I'll try it. We had videos of masquerades in Nigeria and a bunch of places playing, and people are dancing in circles and they're using these big body movements that, you know, there is kind of a theme. It looks like everyone is unique and different, but there's kind of, you start to see some themes. But then the first person who came in was indigenous. So we did an eagle dance instead. So we switched the video. We put on a video, do an eagle dance. Looks shockingly similar to a masquerade. And then we did, there was Mexico, Japan, Africa, Irish maybe, some European country. They all look shockingly similar. All of these spiritual, ancestral, indigenous spirit dances that people were just like, I mean, here's what I know about my ancestry. So we would look up. Or they would say, no, I want to do an eagle dance. Like, I don't know all of the details, but this is the thing I want to do. And you look it up, and it looked this globally. I mean, all day.
Because it's a technology. It's a technology.
Exactly.
The ancestors looked up at the skies and saw the correspondence as above as below. And then, you know, it's 2025 and we're looking at the same skies, having the same conversation. And that lets me know that they're present here in this moment and reminds me that I don't have anywhere else to ever be. So thank you for letting me be a part of this.
After masquerades, we made our own masks. Also, zines, like a booklet with pictures of anyone you call on as an ancestor. Check out these for Bob Marley and Marsha P. Johnson. Now let's elevate further to Anatov's hut. This is where Sunny met her teacher and went through a spiritual transformation. She went down through the earth, through water and sky, and returned with her spirit self revealed, where everything that in her normal life felt awkward suddenly became her strength. So this room is designed with many ways to reconnect with your true essence and strength. You could walk a labyrinth, a guided meditation, or a map used across ancient Egypt and Greece, in Christian churches, India, and American indigenous communities. Imagine following the roadmap of your life, or the path of your ancestors, or spinning a web to trap negativity and worry. You could touch and smell medicinal herbs like cinnamon, ginger, or cedar, or get tuning fork acupressure for pain or grief or anger.
But Natalie's just tenderness and ease and just walking through the points and talking about, oh, have you ever had a bad dream? So this will help you, this point will help you with your bad dream. Or if you ever get a scrape or a bruise or you have pain, this point. And it was just, she talks about it now. The reason I don't have a book is because she took the one that I had, and she's only 5. So thank you for the book. But like, she, and all of the herbs, she was like, oh, I know this one. And then the other one, and she was like, ooh, ooh. But one, it was beautiful for me to watch. But to see her experiencing, and she was so excited, and she did her face, but the tuning resonated with her so much. And I'm like, okay. And this is how we introduce the gifts of healing to our young and to our babies.
You could get a chair massage or a shea butter hand massage or an energy clearing with rose water and wind.
I was trying to replicate what it would be like to go through an initiation. I was trying to kind of emulate, like if I was an old soul, if I was my grandfather who was a chief and studied with indigenous Nigerian doctors and had grew medicines in his farm. Honestly, there was a lot of sound because I had my chitin bracelets on. I was using wind. We had the rose spray as well because rose came up along with, in the book it's mentioned that like when chitin falls down, it smells like rose. People came with really open hearts and there were tears. I felt like people were leaving things behind in that room. And I felt like how special that we could do this in a library. For folks who might never come to the Oshun Center, who might never think about getting an energy clearing or might think that stuff is super woo and out there. I was explaining that it's just like opening the windows when you do spring cleaning and you know, you just need to get fresh air through the house. Like that's essentially what the idea was. And I would ask them, you know, what's one thing that you want to leave behind here? Or one thing you want to clear space out so that you have space for something new to come in. And I didn't even ask them to give a description of that thing, just hold it in their mind, and then spray the rose water, and then have them imagine with their mind's eye, because the mind is extremely powerful and an extremely important part of our healing, in their mind's eye to take the heaviness of that feeling, that thing they want to let go of, and allow the water, the rose water to attach to that feeling and drop it to the floor, and drop it through the floor. And drop it through all 4 floors of the library, all the way down into the earth, and allow Mother Earth to take that and filter it and put it somewhere else, that they no longer have to carry that weight. And you could see some people like opened up, and just the smell of the rose was so comforting. Some people I would give them a stone to hold, and some people I go around and do kind of a wind, like a smudging, but with wind. And a lot of these traditions really are similar, that humans in different parts of the world have had similar things happening with our bodies, similar threats and challenges from the earth, from our society, and we found similar ways to heal ourselves.
Like, yeah, Anatol was really harsh in his lesson planning. He's like, which rang true to me in the ways I had to learn lessons as a kid. It's like, no, you want to learn this, you have to go and experience it yourself. And you may not be okay afterwards, but like tending to yourself and allowing yourself to not be okay and then be okay, and then trust the people you're with and develop that trust is very real. And then Sunny got a book, the Free Agents book, and that brought Sunny a bunch of knowledge, but she didn't like, the author was not kind to Sunny and Sunny being a free agent. Repeatedly in the book, the author's like, you know, give up now.
Yeah.
Like you don't have, I think what the author's trying to say, you don't have the community to make this mean something big. And that, I think what the author, I mean, because I grew up with such harshness, it's like, well, what are, yes, these are the words that they're saying, but like, what are they trying to communicate as a form of protection, which is also present in like African American culture from what I understand. Some of the harshness isn't a desire to protect you from the bigger harshness that might exist, but it can be abrasive as a kid. And her instructor, Anatol, was like, yeah, this lady doesn't have hope for you and your kind, but you need to move past that and like read for what she's trying to say. And then Chi-Chi's mom too, like she had a lot of books in her house, and some of the books that she had were from like European authors who came to the Dark Continent and like were writing all of this. And something that Chi-Chi's mom says is like, you know, these misguided white people came and they saw and they wrote, and unbeknownst to them, they were able to preserve really important stuff. She's like, I'm not reading what they're saying and being like, this is it. I'm like reading what they're saying and being like, oh, they captured this element that is important. And like reading between the lines and reading through your own lessons and like letting the harshness like kind of glide past. Not glide past, but like learning how to be strong in your own will.
Because like magic is about understanding the big picture and being able to use the big picture to alter what is. And so if you're ignoring the things that are harsh, if you're ignoring that death can come, if you're ignoring that I might be depressed after this, if you're ignoring things that I don't want to see, there's a lot of things you're gonna miss.
Due to the opiate of comfort.
Due to the opiate of comfort, I like that. In that, and then, but once you go through some harshness, you understand that's not really harsh. That was actually a launching pad into this amazing thing. And I think that our culture, American culture especially, has mind controlled us into thinking we can ignore at least half of what is, at least half of it. And then we find ourselves in these traps and don't know how to get out because we don't know how to use the strength that comes with the harshness.
It's internal fortitude.
And what's so amazing?
We still waiting for someone else to save us. When we have, like we have it. That's the whole thing. Like we have it, we just have to cultivate it. And that's the harshness, cultivating.
It was Sister Lana Morris who had introduced me to the Congo cosmogram. And I was like, what is this? Because I had also been wondering, do we have a 4 directions for African people? But then it was like 2 in the morning, I see, dropped in our little creative team chat, Bayou made this. This is not what I had seen. This is like adding layers upon layers upon layers. Like he did research to make this version of it.
I took 4 different cosmograms, read what the website said about the different ones, and I just literally layered all 4 cosmograms on top of each other because they all had the same basic elements. They all had Muzuni, Kala, Takula, Rubemba, like they all had those. Only one of them, 2 of them had the mountain and the river. And what it was representing is that like you have this mountain in the physical world, but you also have this mountain in the spiritual world.
Yeah.
You got this river in the physical world, you got this river in the spiritual world. This is how existence works. In the physical realm and the spiritual realm, this is how my ancestors looked at it. And the more I watched videos on it, the more I heard about the different belief systems behind it, the more I was like, yeah, when I'm quiet and I'm still, this is what I believe. When I go out into nature, that's church. You feel me? And it's like, that's what my ancestors believed. So I'm like, I pushed away a lot of things and went into nature to find who I was. But I didn't have the word for ancestors when I first went into nature, but that's who I was talking to. And when I learned ancestors, I realized, oh, okay, cool. That's how spirits are talking to me immediately.
Source guide, this is why I'm here. Thank you so much. I can't explain to you how all of the things, how this brings together so many of the things I am working on right now. And thank you. Oh, what a gift. Thank you.
Visit oshuncenter.com for a copy of this experience guide to learn more. May the magical leopard people of every culture be protected and beloved. Ashe.